So Rally4Reilly and Friends has been able to help Reilly and Tammy and myself since this all began. First and foremost, right off the bat, with helping us to acquire a wheelchair accessible van. My wife owns a Mazda 3 and we were trying to get Reilly into and out of that vehicle for some time, along with his, it's a stroller wheelchair hybrid, so we had a Thule up top and I was raising that up into the overcarriage. And we were traveling with them in a car seat and just really kind of packing in with pillows, but it just wasn't feasible long term, and even at that point when he was only 2. So getting that wheelchair accessible van instantly opened up all sorts of avenues for us in terms of traveling and getting Reilly to places that he needed to be, whether it's doctors and physical therapy or just going out and experiencing the world. And from there, back in 2018, Rally4Reilly Friends was able to assist us in flying Reilly over to Boston and getting him set up with a specialist neurosurgeon over there for a groundbreaking procedure that was performed. That it was a success, and that actually is going to, in the long term, get Reilly off of his ventilator, and he's going to have pacers firing off, and he's going to be breathing on his own without the ventilator. So we'll be able to go out for longer stints of time, and he'll have just a higher quality of life, better sense of smell, better sense of taste, more sense of normalcy. Everything about it's just going to be a huge quality of life improvement for him. Organizations like Rally4Reilly Friends have a huge benefit to our community and individuals that are going through spinal cord injury or whatever other injury or disorder they might be focused on, particularly for the people that are going through it and their families, just because there's so much that you don't know. There's so much that you're expected to learn right off the bat while you're trying to not just figure out what happened, why your life is all of a sudden completely different than it was the day before, but you have to learn and adapt on the fly while trying to figure out how to live your life. Organizations like Rally4Reilly Friends help to bridge that gap and offer support that is non-existent right off the bat. You don't know where to turn to, you don't know who you need to talk to, you don't know what you need to do. They can offer kind of some steps to get from where you are to where you need to be. They can offer resources and groups that you can reach out to, spinal cord injury survivor groups or other resources, whether it be financial or emotional or support groups. I know that Rally4Reilly Friends is looking to pursue adaptive sports. That's a huge, huge avenue that exists, and people know it exists, but you don't know where to look. You don't know who to talk to. Having organizations like Rally4Reilly Friends that can not only give you the resources and information you need, but also put you in contact with the people that you need to be in contact, I can't emphasize enough how much stress that takes off of us when somebody says, this is what you need to do, this is who you need to talk to get it done. 99% of the time, we're sitting there researching for hours on end, not only what we need to do, but who we need to talk to, what applications need to be submitted. So that's a huge burden off of anybody's shoulders. To anybody that is going through a spinal cord injury, my experience as a father isn't going to match what you're currently undergoing, but what I can say is that right off the bat, it is impossible to process. It is going to be the scariest, most difficult thing that you'll ever even have to imagine doing, and you're gonna have to do it. It's gonna be every single day of your life, sometimes every second of your life, and the doctors and the medical staff will be upfront with you about that. The resources like Rally4Reilly Friends that I mentioned previously, they're the ones that can help you to process and digest this. They're the ones that can help to have a path forward through this unimaginable situation that you find yourself in. What I want to convey, and I don't know how to say it without sounding cliche, but it does get better over time. It's going to be the hardest thing you'll ever do in your life, but every single day that you keep at it, you might not feel different, you might not notice the differences, but they stack up over time. Eventually you will look back and you'll say, I'm in a better place than I am right now than I was a year ago. Or even sometimes just a week ago. Sometimes the changes take days, sometimes they take weeks, sometimes they take years. But eventually, if you keep at it and you keep positive, you get your support groups, family, friends, groups like Rally4Reilly and Friends, you can eventually make progress that you feel like in your quality of life and in your heart, just overall, that things start to feel better. You start to accept it. Because that was one of the biggest, most difficult things I ever had to deal with, was accepting that this happened. I knew it happened, but I didn't want to accept it. Eventually, you will just wake up one day and it will feel slightly different. You might not even notice it, but eventually you'll get there. And the support groups and the support structures that you form are going to be instrumental to getting there. I can't stress how important they are.